Get notifications and stay updated every time I post a challenge podcast by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you all and hope you enjoy. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. Allow me to introduce my guest this time, Miss Jamie Larson. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. This is actually pretty perfect timing getting you on here now because lately CBS did like this thing where they got like the Real World now, and they kind of threw all the seasons, or at least most of them, on there. So now fans have been kind of like rewatching, going back and stuff like that. And
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, we're back on TV. What?
Sort of. Well, I'll put it that way, sort of. It's a pretty popular thing now, and yeah, so getting you on here at this time is like pretty cool because it just like came out like a week ago. They just put the seasons on there. It's like, yeah.
I did not know that. That shows how much of a rock I'm living under right now.
Hey, I mean, I feel like we've all been living under a rock in this year, though, right?
Absolutely.
What has this year been like for you, though, with kind of the transition and all the craziness going on?
To be fair, this has probably been one of my more productive years. I've been able to elaborate and construct my travel blog. I've been able to do stuff for my charity. We honestly, obviously because of COVID and everything, we had to cancel a lot of our travel plans to Bali. We had projects to build schools in Bali this year with my nonprofit, and those got canceled. But it's okay because I've been in Mexico since June now, and we're looking at some projects out here to build some schools. So that's really positive. Yeah.
That is really cool too. And I noticed from looking at your Instagram, you're like all over the place, right? Kind of like traveling and stuff.
Yeah, I found a passion for travel after the show. I really just needed to find something that I felt where I fit, I guess. I don't know. And I just found this insane passion to travel. And that is just where I've like led my life for the most part. I travel 4 to 6 months out of the year. I work at home super intensely. So I'll work like 7 days a week when I'm at home, nonstop, save up all my money and travel and invest in some things on the side. So that I have passive income while I'm traveling, and then I work on my charity, and that's been my life for like the past few years now.
So where's your favorite place that you've been to?
I would have to say probably like the Philippines, the Philippines or Hawaii.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So that kind of coincides now with like what you've been doing, right? Because I looked, you have like, you're a co-founder of 2 companies?
Yeah, so I'm a co-founder of my nonprofit organization. We provide educational resources to underprivileged kids. We basically, the way I pick locations is places that I've been. I think it's really important to give back to communities that you've indulged in, and you've had incredible experiences. You know what I mean? I feel like it's not all about taking, it's about giving back a little bit. So that's been massive for me. We have 2 flagship schools in Cambodia. We have our projects in Bali, and now we're starting some in Mexico. So, and then I have a travel company as well. We help provide travel experiences for people. So my nonprofit, we allow people to come out and help us build the physical schools as well and experience the country and expose them to all of the things going on in the world. And then I also have my travel company. So I just want people to do the same things with me and come out and experience it because it's incredible.
Wow, so you're really doing the thing then. You seem to be kind of like all over now, right? Since we last seen you.
Absolutely. It's been a wild ride, but I feel like as I get older, my life is just getting more exciting. So I'm really happy and really excited for the future.
I like that you said that though about giving back and stuff, because some messages I like to send on here too is to like kind of like help others and encourage people to go after like what they maybe yearn for in life, or maybe ambitions, you know what I mean? Like I to me, if like young people are watching this, or if I ever get the chance to speak to younger people, like I would encourage them to go after what they want, to like not be afraid, you know what I mean?
100%. And I think that's where like I've tried to utilize my social media for, like I've used it as a platform to inspire, because I think it's really important to make a positive impact, whether that is physically building schools or whether that is inspiring people to go follow their passions and to make them realize that it is doable if you put in the time, the work, the effort for it. And it sounds so corny. I hate saying it, but it's so true. It's so true. It sounds so corny, but I'm telling you, like, from experience, after my charity was created and after I saw that, like, one of my passions and my dreams was feasible, I realized that, like, you really can do whatever you're willing to put the energy and time into.
And it's a beautiful thing too to kind of like start to see, like, I feel like that's with everything though, to like kind of start something and to see it kind of like gradually like keep growing and growing, and like the more it keeps growing, like the more like excited and like into it you get.
Oh my God, you get so amped because it's like watching your baby grow. You know what I mean? Like you put all of this time, money, and effort into something, and it's just like there's stressful times, there's really hard times, and it's like, oh, do I even want to do this anymore? And then you get that one result. It may be a small win, but then it's just like, yes, like it just keeps you driven to do more. I don't know. It's incredible.
Yeah. But now let's kind of jump into like some real world stuff. I want to hear about your casting story and how that whole thing kind of came about for you.
Man, that was a time in my life. Okay, well, so I had been scrolling through Facebook one day. I had just gotten out of a breakup, which everybody that had watched my season, obviously they knew that I had just gone through a breakup with my ex. Sorry, I think they're fixing my washer and dryer. But I had just gotten through a breakup and I wanted something really extreme to go on in my life. And I guess the universe just put it in front of my face. Because when I was swiping through Facebook, a real world application came up and said, would you like to be on the real world? And I was like, you know what? I'm heartbroken. I need to do this. So I applied, and a couple weeks later, I got an email back saying, we want you to fill out this insane questionnaire with 5 million questions in it. And then it went on from there to... And next thing you know, I was being flown out to California, so it's crazy.
So that wasn't like a goal for you then, right? To get on TV, or was it kind of just spur in the moment?
Thing that I wanted to do. I had a lot of other aspirations that I was dreaming of other than TV. I think it was my quarter life crisis moment where I was just like, I'm going to apply for this and see if I make it because I don't want to be here right now and in this situation. And I don't know, it just fell in my lap, kind of. It was like the universe wanted me to do it. I don't know.
Maybe. Well, why didn't we get to see you have an ex on that season? Because you were the only roommate that didn't have an ex come in. Do you have any knowledge as to why that was?
Well, I mean, I had made a deal with my ex at the time. We weren't super in a bad place, so him and I still communicated, especially throughout the application process. I thought it was super weird that they were so adamant to speak to him and so adamant to ask him what dates he was available. And he was in a very popular band, a very well-known rock band. And so my entire life essentially with him was revolved around his spotlight. So I thought, absolutely not. Like, this is my time to have my moment without you, without being in his shadow, essentially, you know? And so I asked him, I was like, hey, do me a massive favor. I don't know if they're going to use you for views, but please do not come on the show. I was like, please respect me. Please don't come on. And he did. And I was really, really, really proud of it. I was really, yeah. He's a good guy. He was a good guy.
So was production like mad that they weren't able to get you, or were they just like indifferent to the situation?
Oh yeah, there was a whole festival that I was supposed to go to with him there because he had a festival in San Francisco, and I told the show that I would go home. Straight up, I was like, I will leave if I have to go to that. Yeah.
So how did that situation go down? They take it well, or were they?
I mean, it went well. He didn't show up, so, and I didn't go to the festival. But
did you enjoy your time on The Real World though? Like, do you is it something that like you're happy you did it, or do you look back on it and like?
I mean, yeah, I take every experience in life, whether it's good or bad, as a lesson or as an experience. And I really feel like being on the show kind of taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about my relationships with men and how I needed to be stronger as a female and how I needed to not, I guess, succumb to aggressive and negative male figures. I don't know. But then at the same time, I can tell you one thing beautiful that came out of it was that I ended up gaining a better relationship with my mom. And that's so random, I know, but I don't know if you remember about Jay's mom passing away.
Yeah.
on our show, and that my mom and I did not have a great relationship before I came on the show. There's a massive past with that, but when she passed away, we had one of our confessionals with our producers, and that was my realization moment that I needed to forgive my mom on everything, and that it wasn't her fault, everything that happened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's such a nice message to hear. Like, because I had Jay on here a few months ago, and we were talking about it, actually. So that's nice to hear.
Yeah, that was a massive moment in my life, and I have Jay, his mom, and the real world to thank for that, even if we did have our differences at the time.
So now, is it kind of something that's like behind you, so to speak? Like, say if you're like in the local supermarket, and then like someone comes up to you, like, "Oh, you're Jamie from Real World. Like, can I get a picture?" Like, is that kind of something that'd be weird for you, or are you just like,
No, I think it's not something that's weird at all. I love it because I love talking to people. I'd rather somebody come up to me and speak to me and like get to know me, because I've become this like crazy social person now with all the traveling that I do, because I'm like, I love to meet new people. I love to hear their stories and where they come from and what they do, and I love to learn new people. I don't know why, and so I love for people to approach me and talk to me about it. I even get it still today when I'm traveling, which is really cool. So yeah.
So now I think a question that people want to hear now is, why we didn't see you on the challenge, and maybe like, were you called, or what was the deal there?
So I was called for years after, for almost every season, up until like 2 years ago when I asked them, maybe 2 or 3 years ago when I asked them to stop calling me. So it wasn't any particular reason. It was different reasons every time. It was just not the right timing. So right after me and Tom had broke up, I had gone and started dating this Australian guy, and I dated him for like years, right? And throughout that relationship, he told me he didn't want me to go on the show because, I mean, the premise of the show is for people to be scandalous, right? So he was worried that I would go on the show and that something would happen between me and another cast member. So for me at the time, the relationship was way more important to me than being on the show. Also, sorry if there's noise in the background. The traffic is really loud here in Mexico. But at the time, yeah, I respected my boyfriend that I was dating at the time, and that was more important to me. And then after that, I found my love for traveling, and traveling became my priority over being on any TV show. I got offers for other TV shows as well, ones that are completely against my morale when it comes to like relationships and cheating and all of that. So I said no for that reason specifically.
Oh, wow. So the first show that I assume you had to have been called for, because that was the one right after your guys' season, was the X's show. Were you and Tom still together when they called you for that?
We were on the rocks, very much so. We had broken up multiple times in between that time and thought we could work it out, tried to work it out, broke up again, and then we finally ended up breaking up. I think that was the one Haley ended up getting called for him, right?
Yeah, they were partners. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had ended up breaking up. Yeah, because we weren't together while he was on the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So did you happen to watch that season, or?
I didn't watch any other Real World or Challenge season after that. After mine, I did not watch any of it. I don't know why. I don't know if I had like PTSD from my show. I'm so sorry.
No, it's cool.
I don't know if I had PTSD from my show or if I just felt like I had enough closure from being on my own, but I didn't feel like I needed to be on any other ones. Just wasn't my time for it, and I didn't want to watch it, didn't want to hear about the drama, and it was kind of still a little traumatizing, I guess.
So you wouldn't happen to know, like, I'd say maybe a handful of the people that were in that house with you in San Francisco kind of now have gone on to be somewhat of fixture points in the show. Like, I know Corey's doing his thing. Jenna actually went on, go figure, right? She was brought in as Jay's ex, and then she goes on to do more shows than him, and then she makes the final like 3 times, and she's still doing it. And then someone who you kind of butted heads with, she's kind of now known for what I'm gonna ask you about in a few moments, but like she was like the highest like money winner in like the show's history up until like this past season.
Yeah, I still get tagged in a lot I don't know why, because it's like, what, 7 years ago, but I still get tagged in a lot of real world stuff and like the challenge stuff. But yeah, no, I'm really proud of Jenna that she's done so well because she was so timid and so quiet on the show. And I feel like she really found her voice and found her place. And Corey, that was, man, that dude was like my brother on the show. And I'm so proud to see him just like do so well. Like, good for him, dude. And same for Ashley. Good for her. She was in a dark place. Like, she obviously had a lot of demons to fight off during our show, and it seems like she's doing a lot better. So good for her as well. I mean, growth in everybody. So that's beautiful.
Well, what was the dynamic like though? Like, where was the disconnect between you guys?
I think back then, you mean with me and Ashley?
Yeah.
So back then, I was very big about treating people right and being loyal and standing up for what you believe in. And I'm still very much so that person, but I think in a less aggressive way, I would say. Ashley at the time, I think I just could get the bad vibes off of her almost immediately, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the way she treated people. I didn't like the way she held herself. I didn't like the way she spoke to people around me, especially people that I felt were good people. And to me, bad vibes are just not what I'm about. And back then, it's something I would have gotten physical about, and it's something I would have gotten very verbal about. And now I just exclude myself completely from.
Yeah, she's like pretty much known for now is like her stealing the money a few seasons ago. It was like $1 million. What is your thoughts on that? Did you ever see yourself doing that?
What's the premise? What happened?
So it was like a season called The Final Reckoning, right? And it was like paired up, like people were paired up. It was like, but it was like mixed gender. So you had like some pairs had like 2 guys, and then it was like 2 girls or like guy girl. She was with someone who they were called exes. I don't think they dated, but like they had like a fling or whatever from a past season. And then they ended up winning. And then she had the choice to either split the $1 million down the middle amongst both of them, and then or just steal it and keep the entire thing to herself. And obviously, she kept it all. So.
I mean, that's a really hard position to be put in because I know me, I would be torn. I have family that I would have been happy to give that money to. I have blood back home that would have used that money and they would have done amazing. But at the same time, you think you have your team member that literally helped you get that money. You know what I mean? Like y'all did that together. You know, so that's a hard position. I don't know. I feel like I would have in the moment, if it was like you had to make the choice right on the spot, I probably would have split it because I wouldn't have been thinking about things at home and problems at home at the time. But if I had time or like a day or two to think about it, I probably would have been like, oh, but like I want to give this to my dad and my mom and my sister, or like, you know what I mean? So it just depends on your intentions, really. If she wanted to get like superficial things for her, then yeah, that's a shit move, 100%. But if she's thinking about helping her family or something, then I understand why she did it.
So now, like, what's like the contact type like with you guys? Like, do you guys keep in contact at all, like with each other, or is you guys just kind of doing your own thing?
I think everybody just kind of does their own thing that's not in the like challenge group anymore. I mean, me and Corey messaged back and forth back in like June or July when I got to Mexico, just chatting about what the state was out here right now. And then me and Jenny have, I don't know if you remember Jenny, me and Jenny have like messaged back and forth a little bit here and there. Jenna as well. I don't really like keep contact with everybody anymore. Yeah, I mean, Wes from Are You the One came down to visit and hung out with me in Mexico, like ago. Yeah, but I don't think anybody really keeps in contact as much anymore.
We might be seeing you on Are You the One soon.
Who? Me?
Yeah.
He came with a friend. It wasn't with me. Okay, wow, I should have clarified that. I am 100% single to whoever is watching this. That is not nope.
I'm sorry for putting you on the spot like that. I just had to though. You left yourself too open to it.
I did. I forget about these reality TV things. Okay.
So now, like, what is your thoughts now? I mean, you didn't do the challenge, obviously, but like, what is your thoughts on them kind of with their current casting criteria. So they've been pulling from like Big Brother, X on the Beach, Ari the One was obviously the first one they started pulling from, and now, as crazy as it sounds, they're starting to pull like IG models and like taking people off like Instagram for how many followers they have. What do you think about that?
I mean, come on, everybody knows what they're doing. They're obviously like hurting for views and they're hurting for ratings. Like that is what you're doing. You're outsourcing your network. That's exactly what it is. It's a smart business move on their part. Obviously, like they've lost ratings when it comes to just the Real World and Road Rules and Challenge cast members. They have to pull from other people that have outside networks, like different followers that maybe have never heard about the challenge. That's a smart move on their part. I mean, yeah, I mean, they probably see the ratings of Big Brother and how amazing it's been over the years. They're pulling people that have followings or no followings or whatever and put them all in a house. And then same with like, isn't there like a Big Brothers All Star as well, where they have people with massive?
I don't think it was perceived too well, but it happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a smart move on Bunham and Murray and MTV's part. They know what they're doing.
Well, we kind of started to see like towards the end, because Real World's kind of extinct right now. Their ratings were starting to dip, and then like I think they did that twist for you guys to try and attempt to bring it back up, which I think it did, right?
It did, yeah.
And then the last 3 seasons of official seasons of Real World, they tried similar twists. Essentially, it was like almost the same thing. I mean, the one after you guys kind of worked a little bit, but then the last 2 were like didn't go so well, so they kind of just did away with it. But then a few years ago, they brought it back on Facebook Watch, and I don't know who watches Facebook Watch. No offense out there, but I don't.
I've never seen Facebook Watch. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's very interesting. I know they did use our season. Ours was supposed to be the last season, which is why they did the twist and why they did it in San Francisco for it to come full circle, you know, from the original Real World type deal. So. But then after our ratings were the highest they had been in so many seasons or so many years, they were accepted and renewed, I think, for 3 more seasons after that. So I don't even know if I'm allowed to be saying this right now.
I'm not under contract with anybody, so I mean, it's not like I'm not affiliated, so I don't really care.
But yeah, I don't know.
Oh, wow. What are some current plans for you though, like to maybe travel to? Since I mean you're all over the place, it seems like. Do you have any desired places to go to?
Yeah, so I have a lot of places that I want to go in Southeast Asia. I'm just obsessed with that part of the world. I usually spend most of my time there. There's some really beautiful places like Papua New Guinea and parts of Indonesia like Raja Ampat that I want to do a lot of diving in, because I don't know if I'm sure you saw on my Instagram that I'm like obsessed with diving right now, with free diving. So I just got my wave 2 level 2 certification here in Mexico. So I finally hit my first 100 feet on one breath.
So I have to ask, are you part mermaid?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I figured, I was like, I just needed the clarification.
Yeah, no, I've just like fallen in love with like the therapeutic aspects and like the just bliss that comes from free diving. So I found it as my little like getaway from like the chaos of life a bit. But I think I think Southeast Asia, but now obviously with everything with COVID happening right now, I think my main focus is going to have to stay with South and Central America. I'm exploring a little bit more of Mexico next week. I'm going to Oaxaca and a bunch of places down south for Day of the Dead, so that should be pretty cool. But,
oh wow! So is that like for like the Halloween stuff then? Day of the Dead?
Yeah. So they celebrate their families that have passed, basically. But I think because of COVID, a lot of the celebrations are kind of staying low and staying within their family circles and stuff. Nothing super massive.
So what are you being for Halloween then?
I'm going to paint my face. I'm going to do the Day of the Dead celebration for sure. And then I honestly don't know. I don't know if we're going to be partying really for Day of the Dead.
Well, no. The funny part is like this is the 1 year where like wearing masks, or at least where I'm at. I don't know what it's like over there. Where like wearing masks is like it like fits the thing now.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I guess we should all just be wearing masks for Halloween. It's fitting.
Yeah, they kind of started to like, at least over by me, they started to kind of like the last few years kind of like encourage kids to like stop wearing masks and stuff, and it was like safety hazards and all that.
The thing is there's so many controversial like rules and regulations and things out there right now. But the thing is like they've already proven that whenever the fires were happening, that masks don't even stop the smoke particles from coming in. So what's stopping the COVID particles from coming in through the masks? Like it just, and that are way smaller. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. COVID's a real thing. Be cautious, be safe for people around you. If you're traveling, travel smart, be conscious, but also you have to live your life.
No, that is true. But I one thing I do got to ask you now, do you have like any certain maybe coping methods or like strategies to maybe like de-stress if you're like feeling maybe anxiety and stuff? Because like that's a big like talking point I like to go over here as well.
Yeah, are we talking anxiety from like being locked in from with like the COVID situation or just in general?
Mostly in general, but I mean, I guess maybe you could kind of mix in a little bit of both.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of things that have really helped me have been the traveling is like one thing for me, but it's not accessible to everybody, and I understand that. So things like journaling have been massive for me. I do a lot of things in my journal that just like help me get all of my chaos and anxieties on paper, so I really know what's going on in my brain. So I'm not just like jumping to conclusions of my anxiety. That music, being productive, finding things that I'm passionate about. I launched my travel blog, my website, which is under construction right now again, but I launched that in like 6 weeks because I was having anxiety about not being able to travel. And I was able to launch that, something that I'll be able to utilize for years to come and to continue bringing me business and generating money and helping me follow my passion. So I think maybe searching and exploring and finding those passions and getting to work on those is really massive to help with anxiety.
Well, you seem to be living your best life. So I mean, that kind of like honestly, like if I was in your shoes and like I was able to like go diving and traveling, I think like that might suit me well because now, I mean, especially with being locked in, social media was already kind of like a big like driving point and maybe being stressed out. And I'm sure you can even imagine like it becomes addicting. Like
Oh my God, yeah. Oh, and that's why I take such long breaks. Like you'll see me go weeks without posting on my social media because I find it to be super toxic, not just for me personally to like be flipping through and looking through, but for me to be conscious about what I'm posting to people because I know I'm living a really extreme, like vibrant lifestyle that people look at and they're like, holy shit, I could never do this. Oh, holy crap, I could never do this. But
no,
like,
you could curse.
okay. But like I that's why I'm so conscious about my social media and what I post because I would hate to be the person that people look up to and think negatively of themselves because what I'm posting. That's completely against what anything I would want to do. So that's why I have social media is toxic. You have to be conscious about what you're posting and who's seeing it and stuff. It's super important.
And I did a project on this. It's like I think it's been like studies. They did like studies or something like this, like a scientific thing where like the human mind, when you get a notification like on like yeah, like it's like almost like a hamster effect, like the hamster wheel starts going like, and then you just want to keep checking and like you keep your say like at work or doing anything, you keep your phone like on a table next to you. You're more inclined to look at your phone than if you were to keep it in a different room. You know what I mean? Like, because the thought is just in your, you've already placed the thought in your head, even if nothing's currently going on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I do find that baby steps too, because I haven't even gotten to that point because I work kind of like remotely. So I need my phone on me for if somebody calls me for work. But my new thing is at night is, and this is baby steps for anybody that needs it, is putting your phone on do not disturb and literally not looking. Once you put your TV on to watch TV before you're going to bed, or once you turn everything off, that do not disturb means do not look at your phone. And none of those notifications go off, none of the vibrations go off, and I get the best sleep. It's insane because you just don't think about it. Once those notifications are gone, it's like, it's beautiful.
But what do you do maybe on your spare time, like aside from traveling? Like, are you like, what do you do maybe to like keep yourself like occupied? I know you work, but like maybe like are you?
Sorry, I think you froze for a second.
Oh wait, can you hear me?
Sorry, I think you froze for a second there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can you see me now?
you're good. Yeah, you're good.
So maybe what do you do like on your spare time, like aside from maybe the occasional, like obviously you work and then you travel, but like what do you do to maybe keep you busy otherwise?
So, I mean, literally the only things that keep me busy are my companies. Like, traveling, everybody always asks me, like, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do? And I'm like, my hobbies are traveling and diving, like, and my charity. My nonprofit rules my life. My traveling rules my life. My company rules my life. Like, the thing is I've created and molded this life around everything I'm obsessed with and everything I'm in love with, that is what I do in all of my time. And when I'm not doing that, I'm literally laying on the beach somewhere chilling, or I'm taking a nap, or exploring. Like, it's just, I've carved this crazy lifestyle that I'm just obsessed with.
Wow, I expected something more complex, like if you watch TikTok or Netflix or something like that.
Honestly, and to be fair, like, social media, the only time I'm using it is to share my stories with people, is to share it with the people. Like, I want to bring people here with me in Mexico and all the cool things that I'm seeing. And that's really the only, I don't even have TikTok. Like,
No, me neither.
I don't even have Snapchat. Like, I don't even know, I've never had Snap, I just don't do it.
And now the people watching this are gonna think like we're like anti-social media, or
Not at all. No, I mean, y'all go look at my Instagram. It's literally like I'm on it enough to be a social media person, but I just, like, I don't know.
But I appreciate you taking the time to do this with me today. I had a fun chat, and if you need me to link anything in the description, maybe to your travel or nonprofit, just obviously swing that my way. And for those
Yeah.
watching, throw something nice in the comments section for Jamie to see. So yeah,
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
for sure. I'll link you when it's up as well.
Okay, perfect. Sounds great.
Take care.
Bye.